Well, good morning YouTubers, and welcome back to the David Swordplay channel. And this morning we're on board a Ducati Monster, bit of an iconic motorcycle. Something unusual for me. This little baby's got 111 horsepower at about just over 9,000 RPM and masses of torque. Can't quite remember the figures, but basically it's a naked sports bike. Now, it's the second Ducati I've ridden in my life. As you all know, I've owned an MV Agusta and I quite like Italian motorcycles. Now this is the, I think it's 937cc V-twin, or it's an L-twin really. It's got desmodromic valves on it. That means the valves are open and shut mechanically, as opposed to using a spring to shut the valves. It's a very agile bike. It only weighs 166 kilos, and if you put some fuel in it and what they call curb weight, you're looking at about 180 kilos. So it's very light, very flickable. The riding position's quite nice. There's no weight on my wrists, but my legs are quite bent. I haven't had a chance to open it up yet because we're not actually out of Preston. Quick shifter on it. But I would imagine once we get into the countryside, this bike will come alive. I mean, Ducatis used to be quite well known for their snatchy throttle response at low speed in town, but I have to say this Monster is quite tractable and very easy to operate in city traffic. Thanks to Ducati Preston for allowing me out on this bike today. The seats are firm but comfortable. We'll see how we get on after an hour in the saddle, but yeah, it's very flickable. Now this is the new Monster, if you like. It was used, the old Monsters used to have a trellis frame apparently, which could flex at times, but the bike really got a good reputation. In fact, you could say that the Monster actually saved Ducati. But this is a new one with new frame, aluminium. It's quite a modern bike. This got lots of options for changing things, ABS, modes. You've got the usual modes. Lots of change on the traction controls and ABS. So you can really set this bike up how you want it.
We're having a look at the TFT dash. It's got the graphics from a Panigale V4. As you can see, it's very easy to read. The engine has 3 modes: urban, touring and sport. You also have Ducati traction control, Ducati wheelie control, ABS, all adjustable from the switches on the left hand handlebar. We also have the Ducati quick shift system on this bike. I do believe it has a launch control as well, but we're not going to be looking at that today. We're just looking at the screen now, which is easy to read, very pleasant to the eye and easy to read on the move.
Yes, it's going to be fun, this bike, I can feel it. Goes through the bends really nice. It's very controllable, very controllable. To say I haven't had it out of third gear yet. We've got some nice bends coming up, so oh yeah. As I say, the bending your legs quite aggressive, but not unpleasant. The ride is firm but very well damped. It soaks up the bumps really well. And it doesn't seem to throw you off course if you're to bump in a corner, which is always a good thing. Yes, nice to be back on an Italian bike. Now this bike has 320mm discs on the front with Brembo 4-pot calipers. I think they're M4s, so the stopping power is really good. Yes, getting into its stride at about 4,000 RPM. And it is very tractable. I mean, in third gear, and if you slow it down, roll 30, and it pulls about really well. Yes, very firm on the suspension, but that's what you would need to get the handling, but it doesn't throw you off line in the corners. A nice area in the tank here to tuck your knees into. The seat's very supportive, and you've got a little raised piece at the back to stop you sliding backwards. Yes, but it certainly gets along. Reminds me of the old MB. The head seems to be in nice clean air. There's not a lot of buffeting, considering there's no screen on it. So this will be a great bike for a Sunday afternoon run in the twisties. You immediately feel at one with the bike, like I say, the position is sporty but quite upright, so there's no weight on your wrists. She's good for an old man like me. Just give it a squirt. My word. That's really nice. Give me some more of that, he shouts. Yes, you could certainly lose your license on this bike.
There are some really nice styling cues on the Ducati Monster. I like the way the front indicators are blended into the front of the tank. A nice streamlined headlight and TFT dash fairing. All in all, a nice looking motorcycle.
Nice auto blip as it changes down. Oh, I love that punch. Get a bit of vibration through the pegs. It's not what you call intrusive. As I say, and it's very tractable. We're in touring mode at the minute. Just love cracking that throttle open. You're very, very good on that low down pull. And you back off and then come out of a corner. Let me get ahead a bit. It's a bit jittery over some surfaces, but I suppose you've got to sacrifice a bit of suppleness for road holding. It's such a nice handling thing. You almost move it with the cheeks of your bum. Now the front suspension is non-adjustable, but I think the back's adjustable for preload. Well, welcome back. We've just stopped for a nice cup of tea, and now we're going to go and do some more twisty roads. So jump on board and let's go. So, Ducati Monster, quite a story to this bike, and if you look it up on the internet, I won't go into it now, how it was originally created. This is a totally new version, and I have to say, quite surprising, quite a tractable bike. It's just made for this kind of road. Twisty and sinuous. I've got it in sport now, so but it is, let's just concentrate on the fun to ride, because it certainly is fun to ride. As I say, the suspension's firm but well damped, and it copes with these roads very well. Braking is Brembo. It's got an auto blipper as you change down. And it's really a perky, feisty little thing. Fun to ride, fun to ride. That's what it's all about on a lovely day like today. And I wouldn't suggest you could go touring on this bike, although you probably could. But it's not a thing I'd want to tour on. But on the roads we're on today, ideal. Ideal. Really flickable, very light in weight, nice power, nice torque. Quite a lot of fun. And just quick mention to our new subscribers, welcome. Hope you're enjoying the channel. Thank you for subscribing. You make it all worthwhile. Please leave comments and a like if you do like the videos. I'm not a professional motorcycle reviewer. I'm just a man who loves riding any type of motorcycle. They're all fun to me, whether it's a 20 horsepower Royal Enfield or 111 horsepower Ducati. I like riding them all. A little fairing round the dash. I don't think it does anything for wind protection, it's just to make the bike look nice, which it achieves. Hear the desmodromic valve gear clattering away, but it's a reassuring sound. As I say, it's a very tractable bike when you're doing slow speeds, even in sport mode, which is quite surprising. The last Ducati I rode was a Multistrada, and I found that not a pleasant experience, if I was honest. It was a 2014 model, and I found the throttle quite jerky. But these new modern Ducatis are really civilised, and I would not have any trouble owning one now, I think. And again, you're riding a Ducati. I mean, that name says it all. My cousin Marcel in France used to race Ducatis a long time ago now, because he's about my age. But so I've got a bit of family history with the Ducati brand. Yeah, it goes through the gears lovely when you get it at 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. 1st and 2nd I'm not too sure about. I've had a couple of occasions today where I tried to select 2nd gear and ended up with neutral. I love that auto gripper. So, do you own a Ducati Monster? Let me know in the comments what you think about it. It's an old one or a new one. I mean, they have such a reputation, and I can understand why, because they're just complete fun to ride. There's little things I'd adjust if this bike was my own, like the position of the brake lever. Foot brake lever, I mean, not the front brake lever. The image I have in my head, I actually saw a young lady on the road from La Turbie to Monte Carlo, riding a Panigale in yellow with a matching sleeveless t-shirt on and a matching helmet and in shorts. I'll never forget that image. She was whizzing in and out of traffic, and you know, if this country to be saying, oh, you can have protective gear on and all that, but this young lady had no fear. She just got stuck in and was riding like a good one. It was fun to watch. Not that I suggest in any way that you would ride without protective gear on, you understand. So I've really enjoyed my time on the Ducati Monster 2022 model. It's been a lot of fun. I'm now back on my way back to Ducati Preston. I want to thank them for allowing me to take this bike out today. I've really enjoyed the experience. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please consider leaving a like, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you along. So this is David Swordplay signing off and saying thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.